Hey guys, Matt from MADHUNTS Adventures. I have another saddle review for you, so stick around and we're going to get right to it. Hey guys, well really quick, let me just cover a couple things. As you can see, the saddle's already out of the box and there's a reason for that. Timber Ninja is sponsoring the MADHUNTS Saddle Tour, and this saddle was provided to me for that tour. So I'll take this saddle to expos, meetups, maybe archery tournaments, or to an archery store, that type of thing, and I'll use this saddle as a demo for guys to try out. So just a quick disclaimer, the saddle was provided to me for free for not only this review, but also as a demo saddle for the MADHUNTS Saddle Tour. With that being said, this is not going to be a giveaway review today, and there's another reason for that as well. Timber Ninja is currently only taking pre-orders on this saddle, and they do not have any inventory, so they were not able to provide a saddle for a giveaway. They have provided a saddle in the past for a giveaway, and they would have been happy to do that. They just don't have any inventory. So with that out of the way, let's get right to the saddle review. The saddle is made in the USA, and it is a 2-panel saddle, and it does run $409.99. It comes in 2 sizes, a regular, which is up to a 36-inch waist, and it also comes in an extra large, which is a 36 to 40-inch waist. As I said, it's a 2-panel saddle, and it has side release buckles here on the back, so you are able to completely separate the panels. You can draw some slack out of the webbing, reattach those side release buckles. You can set the panels where you like them, what's comfortable for you, and then you just take the slack out of the webbing and it holds those panels right in that position for you. It also comes with a patent pending mud flap, which is what Timber Ninja is calling this. The patent pending mud flap is held up with 2 G-hooks here that attach to the top edge of the bottom panel. And what this is for is carrying up to 4 climbing sticks to your tree from the truck. So basically you would put these right here on the back and run your straps around the sticks, connect those to the top here, and take the slack out, and then you can carry your sticks in from the truck right on the back of the saddle. That way you don't have to attach those to a backpack. We'll test that out and see how well that carries these 3 Hawk Helium 30-inch sticks. In addition to the mud flap, Timber Ninja has a patent pending magnetic platform carrier right here, and the magnets just find their home. You just get them close and they seat themselves. There is a horseshoe shaped receiving port here, and what happens is that magnet finds its way into it and then it holds and it won't come apart. In order to release it, you do have to pull up and slide it out of that horseshoe groove. So basically you would attach your platform right here to the back and carry your platform up and down the tree right here. So we'll put all that to the test. In addition, they have patent pending magnetic stick carriers. Once you get to the base of the tree and you take them off out of the mud flap, you carry your stick up the tree, and when you're coming down, you take it off the tree and carry it down the tree. It does come with 2 rows of molly, 1 across the top of the top panel, and you get 3 on the left and 3 on the right side of the bottom panel, the top side of the bottom panel. So now it does not come with the saddlebags. Those are an add-on. So you actually can add 2 saddlebags to the sides and a lumbar saddlebag to the back. Now they are designed for left and right based on how the zippers function. It also has these loops here on the top of the top panel, and that is for their uni shoulder strap system. Similar to suspenders, but it's a little bit different if you watch their review on it. And you can add that to the saddle. That also is going to accept a backpack as well that is specific to the Timber Ninja product line. Let's move on to the front of the saddle. It does have a magnetic waist belt. It finds its own home. It does have adjustments on the right and on the left, and there are keepers here to hold your tag ends. This one is sewn in, but with the right and left hand adjustments you can offset that buckle to either side depending on how much slack you take out. It does have an Amsteel bridge, and it is attached on the left side with a running eye. A lot of guys call that a girth hitch. And on the right side has your prusik attachment, and the bridge loops have a tacky material on them, and that is supposed to help it hold the bridge pitch adjustments up and down the bridge loops. So we'll test that out once we get up in the saddle. It also has tacky material on your lineman's loops, so we'll test that out as well. They also set those lineman's loops back just a little bit so they don't interfere with your bridge loops. So we'll test all that out and see how it works. Your leg straps are webbing with G-hooks, and those will attach right here to the bottom panel. They are sewn into the saddle right here at the bottom, so they are not completely removable from the saddle. So when the panel is completely drawn tight to itself, it is roughly about 11¼ inches. Completely opened up here. The bottom of that panel now is at just about 21 inches. So that opens up pretty far for any adjustments. I do want to get a weight on it without these dump pouches, because I do not include the dump pouches in the total weight. So we're going to just remove these. As you can see, they're really easy to remove. So let's see what the weight on this is. 1 pound 15 ounces. It is a solid panel, and it does have padding on the inside. Okay, so with that being said, let me get all this put together and do a walk test with the sticks on the mud flap, and then we'll head to the tree. Walking with the saddlebags, as well as with 3 30-inch Hawk sticks, it did not pull down on the saddle at all. So there was no sag, and I actually thought that it would be really awkward walking in with the sticks in the mud flap here. And I'm really surprised at how comfortable it was. Due to the fact this mud flap cinches tight, it holds those sticks nice and tight up against the saddle, the bottom of the panel there. and I was really surprised. I really thought they would feel like it was pulling or sagging, making me lean back, or that they were rocking and hitting the back of my legs on every step, and it didn't do that. So I just wanted to point that out and let you know that mud flap does work really well. In addition, the leg straps, I did run them loose and there was no pull on my legs at all. That's how you run sticks, using the magnets, carrying them up the tree, and just a quick test on the lineman's loops. So now I'm gonna dump the sticks off, and I have my one stick on my pack. So I'm gonna get that off and I'm gonna one stick up the tree. I just want to show you that metal noise you were hearing was the mud flap. I did forget to put the mud flap up, and the G-hooks were banging into the platform. I'm just not used to running a mud flap stick carrier with metal G-hooks. So when I was ascending the tree, I just forgot to put that up. As you can hear, once you put your mud flap back in its position, there's no more platform noise. Okay, we are up in the ultimate for at least 1 hour. I'm gonna sit in the saddle just for a little bit, and then I'll start going over the features and talking about them with you and let you know how everything works out. All right, let's start testing out some of the features of the saddle. Let's start with the bridge sliding through the carabiner. It's an AM steel bridge, very little friction, slides really nice, really easy to turn for shots. It works really nice through the carabiner. As far as bridge length adjustments, there is not a tender on here, so you will just have to take your weight off, loosen that bite a little bit, either stand up on the platform or put on a lineman's belt. Just loosen up that bite just a hair. Right there, I just made it shorter. It was really easy. Right here, I'll lengthen it. So right there, real long bridge, as you can see. So I'll shorten that up a little. So bridge length adjustments, really easy to make. Let's do pitch adjustments up and down the bridge loops. It does have this tacky bridge, so I'm interested to see if it'll hold in all positions. So let's go ahead and move it up top right now. Just take my weight off. Loosen this up. We'll move it all the way up top. The tackiness of this really does hold. And it makes it harder to move these, which is a good thing. You don't want to move them a lot anyway. All right, so right there, they're both moved up. I'm going to put my weight into it, and those did not move at all. So both sides stayed exactly where I put them. So let me move it down to the bottom. We'll see how it holds on the bottom. All right, let's put our weight into it. So no movement at all. So that will hold in all bridge positions, up and down the bridge loops. I'm gonna go ahead and put them back. You can easily open up the panel. You just reach back, separate these buckles to introduce some slack into the system, and take your weight off, and you can pull the two panels apart like that. If you want to lower that bottom panel, lower down your legs, you can introduce even more slack all the way out. So I have this much room to continue. As you can see, you've got a lot of adjustment that you can make all the way up your back and underneath your hamstrings. If you're more of a sitter, you can sit, even let a little bit of tether out to put you at more of a 90-degree angle with your knees. You can just sit right into the panel just like this. And what you do is, once you put it where you like it, right there's comfortable for me, you just take the slack out of the system and you set those panels right there. So if you stand up or do any moving, it doesn't move or drop down below your knees. The waist belt's really easy to loosen up once you get up into your hunting position. So really, other than moving the tether up and down the tree and making bridge pitch adjustments, panel adjustments, bridge length adjustments, I mean, there's not a lot else you're going to do. There's not a lot else you need to do. All right, guys, been in the saddle for 1 hour 38 minutes in the Ultimate. So let's discuss the saddle and wrap this thing up. Walking around from the truck using the mud flap to carry 3 30-inch Hawk Helium sticks, as well as loading up my dump pouches with my ropes, as well as my 40-footer rappel rope on my right side. Using the leg straps, the saddle wore completely comfortable. There was no sag. I was really surprised that the saddle handled 3 Hawk 30-inch sticks the way it did with all that additional weight on it. I thought it would sag a little or hit the back of the legs or just be uncomfortable, and it really was not uncomfortable at all. If you're running mini sticks, it would even be that much better. So really nice as far as the waist belt holding the saddle up. The leg straps were nice, and the mud flap worked really well. When I got to the base of the tree, I did use 3 sticks. I wanted to test out the magnetic stick holder as well as the magnetic platform holder. And the stick holders worked as intended. It was really nice having them integrated right into the saddle, and used my lineman's belt to climb the tree. The lineman loops were really easy to clip in and out of. I thought they would be a little hard to get your carabiner out of, because sometimes that tacky material holds onto your beaner and doesn't, it's not as easy to take it out. But I was surprised. It was really easy, and the lineman's belt ascent was really easy, as well as coming down. I took the sticks down as well and put those back in the magnetic locations, and that was really easy. There is one thing I noticed with the platform, and I want to talk about that, and I'm going to, when I get down onto ground level, I'm going to demonstrate what I discovered with the platform and one sticking. All right, guys, I'm down here on the ground, and I just want to show you what I discovered. I actually discovered this by accident. I was one sticking up the tree, and I'll explain to you what happened. Before I do, I just want to clarify that this is not an equipment issue. This is not an equipment failure. This is more of a discussion on how to properly use the equipment, and that's all this is. So just to reiterate, this is not an equipment issue. This is a user nugget of information. So just look at it that way. It'll make sense once I show you what I discovered. So as I was one sticking up the tree, so I had the panels completely closed with the buckle here. They were cinched all the way together, and I had the platform with the magnet hanging on the back of the saddle here, and everything was fine. Never had any issues. And then I wanted to try one sticking with the panels slightly open, but that's what I do when I'm testing this stuff, is I try different things. So just for testing purposes, I open those panels up just a little bit. Now what happens is, when you are when you have all your weight on your main line and you are basically sitting in this thing and the panels are all the way together, they stay more in a vertical position like this. When you separate the panels and you sit into it, this bottom panel now curves at more of a 45, somewhere between 45 and 90 degrees. I don't know what the pitch is. And then when you kick out, after you reach down, grab your platform and you pull it up and you kick away from the tree to separate yourself to throw your stick up here, when you swing away from the tree like that and your bottom panel is at an angle, you are putting a lot of force from a 3 or 4 pound platform. You have a 3 or 4 pound platform. Let me see if I can just sit down in this tree and demonstrate it. Okay, now you can kind of see what I'm talking about. You've now changed the pitch of this bottom panel, the angle of it. It's now hanging this way versus vertical. And you got all that weight right here. And when you kick back to throw your stick up on the tree, you are introducing gravity into this system, and it can easily slide that magnet out of the top holder. I'll see if I can demonstrate it. Just like that. Now that's not an equipment failure, because you're putting the equipment in a position to fail. So it's more user introducing failure than it is the equipment failure. When I used the 3 climbing sticks and when I climbed with the panels completely together, I tested this. I never had a failure. It was only when I loosened those 2 panels and separated them, and this is hanging off the bottom, and when you kick out, that pressure slid that magnet out of its holder and the platform fell. I wanted to test it and make sure it wasn't just a fluke thing, and then I clipped in my 5mm sterling cord here and held that with my one hand and acted as if I was going to push off the tree to make a move, and I did that several times, and every time I was able to dislodge the magnet, and this saved me from having to rappel all the way back down to the ground. I can't stress it enough, because I don't want anybody saying this is a bad design. It's not a bad design. It works as it's intended to. The stick holders never came out, and that's just proof, because they were always hanging vertically. The platform never came out when I had the panels together when I tried this, and the platform never came out when I was when I was using 3 sticks and ascending the tree. The only time this is happening is if you separate the panels during a 1 stick. There's really no need to separate the panels. I only did it for testing purposes. Let's move on. As far as bridge length adjustments, they're really easy to make. You do have to take your weight off, either put a lineman's belt on or just stand up on your platform, loosen the bite, and use 2 hands. I would probably just throw a tender on here so I could make 1 hand length adjustments, but other than that, it worked totally fine. Bridge pitch adjustments, the bridge held in every position up and down the bridge loops. This tacky bridge material really works nice. As far as comfort with separating the 2 panels, I've been up here for 1 hour and 40 minutes and I've been completely comfortable the entire time I've been up here. Extremely comfortable. You are able to fiddle around and make panel adjustments if you want to. I didn't really need to, but I did just to test out some of the features. You can get into the kneeling position and pull that panel down under your hamstrings and lower your tether a little bit to put your knees at a 90-degree angle into the tree. It was really comfortable. The molly loops were really easy to take on and off these tri-glides, and I can see that it would be really easy to attach your traditional style molly loops as well. The magnetic waist belt is adjustable on both sides. It was really nice. Overall, I'm really pleased with the Timber Ninja Ultimate Saddle. Extremely comfortable, a lot of adjustability, and this would definitely be an easy saddle to adjust for you very quickly. So if videos like this are helpful, I would really appreciate it if you could give me a thumbs up, maybe subscribe to the channel if you feel I've earned it, and hit that bell notification for more videos like this. Now, please drop me a comment down below. I would love to hear your thoughts about the Ultimate Saddle. My overall opinion, I'm extremely happy with this saddle. If you want to see how this saddle ranks against all the other saddles, check out my spreadsheet. The link is in the description, and you will see all the pros and cons, all the features of this saddle, and the overall comfort rating that I assign it as well. Most importantly, I hope you get out and enjoy your own adventures. Take care.